Hello, everyone, and welcome to Net Picking, which is Badminton Nation's new talk show on, well, everything that's going on with Indian and international badminton. Um, Today, I have with me senior journalist Abhijit Kulkarni. Hey, Abhijit, how are you?
Hi, Jadid.
And our special guest today is 2018 Thomas Cupper and former world number 32 Shlok Ramachandran, who is currently on a sabbatical from professional badminton. Shlok, what's up? How are you?
I'm good, Jaydeep. Looking forward to this chat. It's a privilege to be chatting badminton. Not a lot of people do, but yeah, it's always fun to chat about badminton. So yeah, looking forward to this.
Great. Thanks for joining us, Shlok. So the focus of our first episode is going to be Indian doubles, and let's start by discussing the big breaking news over the weekend. Matthias Bo, the 2012 Olympic silver medalist, is going to coach the Indian doubles team. How great is that, Shlok?
Huge, absolutely huge. It's going to be a game-changing appointment. First of all, kudos to Sai and BI to actually pulling this deal through. I thought it would take a little more time, but it's actually gone through relatively quickly. Like we heard the rumors about a month back, but it progressed pretty quickly. So big news. I think he brings a lot to the table, right? He's a European. Europeans generally aren't the most skillful or aren't the explosive players, but they have a far deeper knowledge about the game. They tend to analyze a lot. I've done a few sessions with Matthias and Chirag when during the lockdown, and the intensity which he brings to the table is something very different. He looks to have shorter sessions, and there is thought behind everything he does. The Chirag played extremely well at the Thailand leg. A lot of credit also has to go to Matthias because we know the amount of work he has also put in with Chirag for the past couple of months. So it's a huge appointment. Just for Indian doubles, it is a big appointment, but it is going to be even better for Chirag and Satvik.
Yeah. Whoever's, I mean,
Shlok, you spoke about him. You spoke about him bringing a new dimension to doubles. Like in India, we almost always, in the last few years only, we have started bringing in a foreign coach for doubles, and almost all of them have been Indonesian or Malaysian, which is more a physical style of play, like where you do so much training that you're physically you can keep on playing rallies, which is not the way Europeans do. Like you said, it is more about intensity than training. But we are still in a nascent stage of developing doubles in India, and though now we can say we have two decent pairs, we just have two decent pairs. So looking at that, like with just an Olympic, which is say 6 months away, and a complete change in style of coaching for the top pairs, how does that, how will it work?
Um, so we have been struggling ever since we lost Kim Tan-her. I would say Kim Tan-her is very close to Matthias Bo as well. So with Kim Tan-her, he had phases. So during the off season, he would go extremely physical, and when we would have tournaments coming, he would go extremely tactical. Uh, every session of him, I see a lot of similarities between the way Matthias and Kim Tan-her think. Every stroke has a meaning. Indonesians tend to have a very monotonous style. Like most of the Indonesian coaches I've trained with have the same general program of no lob and the explosive smashes and try to keep the shuttle as low as possible. Try to play with a little bit of flair, which comes extremely natural to the Indonesians, right? But it doesn't come naturally to all Indians. But what Kim Tan-her brought to the table and what I think Matthias will bring to the table is something more tactically. Like if you would have noticed the match against Hendra and Ehsan when Chirag and Satvik played in the first tournament, they were pretty much playing to their strengths. And if you would notice that whenever they started playing those longer rallies, starting lifting the shuttles more, they were getting most of the points. So imagine somebody like Matthias before the match prepping them. This is plan A, this is plan B, this is plan C. Right now, with all of the whole Indian contingent, there is no plan with what they are going into the match. They are just backing their skills, and with Chirag and Satvik, they are just so good that it pays off. But it is not going to happen once Kevin Sanjaya comes, once the Chinese pair comes back. You've seen how Chin Li Wang and Liang have played in the past three tournaments. So they need something extra up their sleeves, which I feel Matthias brings to the table just because of the fact that he's played with all of them. And he
Yeah.
just retired last year, and he was still world number 20 and with a new partnership. So he knows everybody. He's a new age coach. He's not the old fashioned coach. And yeah, I think his man management skills are going to be big here because of the fact that he's just not, I don't know what's the deal with him, with the association, like whom is he going to train and how long, but he's going to have his hands full for sure.
According to the reports, like he's going to probably just focus on Satvik, Chirag, and Ashwini, from what I read. I mean, but do you think like he should that should be his focus, or do you think he should also like train some of the others as well?
Uh, I feel Arjun and Dhruv are also somewhere there. I was pretty impressed with the way they actually played, even though they didn't play up to their levels against Ben Lane and Sean Wendy. But we all saw how they served match point against Tio and Ong. I think this is a very crucial year for somebody like Arjun MR. He's now he's now 23. He's as old as Chirag. He's starting a new partnership, and he's the senior pro in this, right? I feel he needs to take a little more initiative, and he needs to drive this combination ahead. Again, Arjun, if you look at Arjun's graph with me also, again, very good physically. Tactically, again, he needs to sharpen up a bit. But I feel Arjun Dhruv should be also be considered by the national camp to train under Matthias Bo. But yeah, Matthias specifically has always specialized in men doubles. And I don't know how much of a help he'll be in mixed doubles. I'm sure he will be, but he's more of a men doubles player. So I think, yeah, so I don't know how he's going to work out, but you need sparring, right? You just can't play with two players.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty sure in doubles, he will need somebody for 2 versus 3. He can't do, yeah, even though he's still fit, he can't do everything. So I am pretty sure with the way he must have done his homework, and he must have seen how Arjun Dhruv are playing, who in my opinion are very close to becoming the number 2 team in India right now. So I hope that Bo also gets some time to work on them, because I think Dhruv has a bright future ahead.
I'm sure he will because, like you said, you can't just work on one pair. You automatically make a group of players and work. But I'm the focus obviously is going to be these two, Chirag Satwik and maybe Chirag Ashwini, because they have the best chance to go to the Olympics. I'm not sure about anybody else having that chance. But when you spoke about tactics and all that, that is what I noticed when that Sean Wendy match of Arjun and all. Tactically, they couldn't change the game. Like they are so used to playing the Asian way of playing that they can play well with the Asians. But when the Europeans start making them get out of the comfort zone, in the first game they had no clue what to do. Second game they slowed it down, they did something, but by then it was too late.
Okay, they were behind the 8 ball right from the start. It never looked like they were actually in control of the game. It was, they were playing to what the English pair was playing. It was just basically mirroring what they were doing. So exactly what I said: a plan A, a plan B, and plan C. You know, I've traveled to a lot of tournaments. I've seen how these English coaches prep before a tournament start. I've seen them getting up in the morning during the breakfast table with their laptop, with their notepad, and they're constantly, giving feedback to the players. I feel that kind of culture needs to come in India. We are not, we are skillful, yes, we are skillful, we are explosive, but we are not as explosive as the Koreans or the Malaysians or the Indonesians. We are good tactically, but again, we are not as good as the English or the Danish. Or you see how Tom Jikel and Delphine Delru have improved in the past 3 tournaments. We are a mix of European and Asian, which Kim Tanner would call Eurasian style of play. uh, but I think we need to, that culture of coaches need to drill their players, saying that, boss, this is plan A, plan B, plan C. I can't stress how important it is for the coach to also go and watch the matches with the analyst. And you see, everything is now analysis, right from the NFL to the NBA to the IPL. It is just scouting network, it is just data. I think it's high time BI should consider, getting a full-time data analytics guy, and somebody who and a coach who understands this. And I think it's going to make a huge difference. But we need to start thinking differently. We need to start, thinking. We need to start to think out of the box. That's what I think. Yeah.
Look, there was a chat I had with the yesteryear players too. I have been having for years on doubles, and while the older generation, like the generation of say Pradeep Gande or say that generation, which was Uday Pawar when he was playing, these guys mostly played singles, had a brilliant understanding and reading of the game. They played doubles, they had success. But that even that generation admitted that we couldn't teach tactical doubles to the next generation because we did not understand that doubles itself. Do you think it has changed? Do our players now, and I'm not speaking about the elite of level of you, people like you who have played for India, and because you have played, you have learned. But do you think we Indians still understand doubles?
I think we do understand. It's not that we do not understand doubles. I feel I think BI needs to promote young Indian coaches as well. I think it's been a while. There are some former players in the setup, but they've not progressed as we wanted to. So we got a first. So Kim Tanner came in about 4 years back, and you would have assumed that we would have somebody ready now in from one of the Indian coaches who had retired then to possibly take over the mantle and be an interim coach if before Matthias Bo would come.
Yeah,
But you see there is a gap, right? In
yeah,
singles, obviously we have Gopi sir who's been there for a very long time. I do feel, and he's also stressed on this, the fact that we need good Indian coaches. We need good Indian coaches, but there hasn't been any improvement, right? You need to give exposure to these Indian coaches to go out there for tournaments, and they need to understand. They need to go watch practice sessions, see what's going on, and that's how Gopi sir has done. I remember traveling with him for tournaments, and he would just be at the practice hall day in and day out and see and try to learn and then get it to the practice session. Similar with Kim Tanher. I feel it's high time. Okay, I understand you're paying a lot of money to these foreign coaches. I get it. It's completely fine, but you need to find former India internationals who've played at a good level, start paying them good money so that the sacrifice of them being away from home is actually worth it. You can't just tell him that, we will give you leave from your public sector jobs and then you come and train. It doesn't work that way. You look at the way Indonesia, Malaysia treats their former players and how well they are paid, and only then there will be a good motivation for the former players. Yeah, I need to hang on to this job because this is doing good for me. So he will do his homework. He will make sure the results are coming. So it's a double-edged sword. The player has to do their job, the admin has to do their job, and the coaches have to produce the results. You've seen Badminton Association of Malaysia, the ruckus they create if they do not get the results in 6 months. Right, in 6 months, there is a press conference. There is constantly challenging. Unfortunately, the questions aren't asked here, and that is why I feel we need a little more exposure to the coaches. And with exposure, you put pressure on them, saying that, boss, we are giving what you've asked. You need to start producing results. But till we are not promoting our former players who've actually played well, it's not going to change. We do understand doubles, but obviously you need to be groomed by Kim Tanher, by Rexy Menaki or Matthias Bo for that matter. I hope that they get a good young Indian doubles coach who could feed off Matthias Bo. And even though when Matthias not here in the future, he can actually implement that plan. And I think BI needs to step up on that.
yeah. One part, like you said, it is BI. matlab, It's maybe an outsider's view for me as a journalist. But when you talk to a foreign player or a foreign coach you are talking about, there's a lot of tactical or a technical chat that happens. While when we talk with Indian players, even the senior players, it's a lot more about results. It's a lot more, and I don't know. Means I'm just asking you from the because you have been inside now. You look at both sides. How much of that technical tactical talk happen in Indian national camps?
Not a lot. I've traveled to a lot of tournaments. As I told you, I'm like very few, till Kim Tanher and probably Vijaydeep Singh Nita, who would like really push the players and want to do them tactically. I've not seen any of the coaches coming and put drilling in that So there is no thought behind the practice sessions, right? You're just playing no lob. I mean,
Yeah.
you're just playing, you're just hitting smashes. You're not. So one of the things when I realized when I was playing with Matthias, during the lockdown was that, so every time Chirag's doing something wrong or he's hitting the smash where he doesn't want him to hit, he would stop the rally and say that, boss, you're not doing it correctly. And he would be so harsh with him sometimes. He would say, if he's not up to the mark, he would come and be extremely blunt, saying that, Chirag, you're not up to the mark. Today, Shlok and I have come. We've come to make you train. You've not been up to the mark. Don't waste our time. So that is the kind of seriousness he's getting, right? I am coming, I am spending my time with you. And then if you are not coming and you're not giving that 100%, not just physically, but tactically, mentally as well. And then not a day after that, I've seen Chirag slacking off in practice. He would be super prepared. So so that is how it needs to be in our practice session. You're not playing for the sake of playing. Today
Yeah.
it is very young for today it is very important for the younger players, Sai Pratik, Krishna Prasad, Dhruv Kapila, all of them to understand that it is just not skills and it is just not your hands which will do the talking. It is going to be tactically, or unless you are as good as Kevin Sanjay Sukamulya, which frankly nobody
Yeah.
is. you,
Yeah.
you look at any other pair, everybody's working so hard. You look at Ben Lane and Sean Wendy or what they've done in the past three tournaments. Do you think skill wise or explosive wise they are even close to the top 10? No, right? It is just the way Anthony Clark has been drilling the plans with them, Nathan Robertson working with them behind the scenes, saying that
Yeah.
you need to do this, you need to do that, and it has showed in fact. It is. I'm telling you, 3 months you get a European, and you are, if they get to train with Matthias, I'm not talking about just Chirag and Satvik, you'll see a big difference in Arjun and Dhruv. In the next tournaments, they play not the German Swiss, but the tournaments after that, for sure.
So
Like one of
yeah,
the
we have two doubles pair. Yeah, Jaydeep, carry on.
one of the biggest challenges that I see is, like, for BAI, is to make sure that Matthias Bo sticks around, because what we've
Yeah,
seen ever since Quintana, I mean, yeah, Quintana was there for a couple of years at least, maybe three
yeah,
years,
3 years. Yeah,
3
3 years.
years, yeah, and but he was supposed to be there till the 2020 Olympics. Then
Yeah,
something happened, and Andy Limpelli came in. He was supposed to be there till the Olympics, but he didn't last hardly a year. And now
yeah.
we've got someone else coming in. So I guess it's really important that 6 months you'd hope that Matthias Bo lasts that long.
Exactly right. I mean, when you're getting somebody with the caliber of Bo, you would want to keep him happy, because you know that he's going to, if you give him what you need, he's going to get you results. I'm sure, because that is the caliber he brings to the table. There are not a lot of Olympian silver medalists out there, waiting for a job like this. Everybody else is booked, from Rexy Menaki to Ricky Subajia. You look at every single head doubles coach in every other country. It is just packed, and that table is so strong over there. Anthony Clark, former world championship medalist, Nathan Robertson, England, uh,
Yeah.
Lars, in Denmark. You had Steen for a very long time. But yeah, I mean, it's a challenge. There's been a lot of foreign coaches departing from the Indian setup, and just not with doubles, also with singles. I think something needs to be fixed there. I don't know what exactly is the problem there, but I think Sai and BI need to have a little more transparency on that, and make sure that if the coaches are giving results, to keep them happy and to let them be here at least till the end of the contract. Forget renewal of contract. At least they are not going mid contract.
I think at least Matthias Bo won't give personal reasons to leave
Yeah,
India like half the other coaches gave.
yeah, true. That is one advantage we have with Matthias Bo.
Yeah. So coming back to doubles, like we said, men's doubles there are two pairs. Mixed doubles technically we have two pairs, but we have one player who is playing two events. I,
Yeah.
rather two players playing two events. Ashwini is playing women's doubles and Satvik is playing. Do you really think with the kind of doubles going on, anybody can play two events at that level?
So this is what I was talking on my podcast, which released today also, that there are only 4 players right now at the highest level who are doing this.
Yeah.
One is Seo from Korea. One is Marcus Ellis. One is
Yes.
Yuta Watanabe, and fourth is Satvik Sairaj Rankireddy.
Yeah.
And if you look at 4 of them, Satvik is not the fittest in the 4 of them. Yuta Watanabe is unbelievably fit. Marcus Ellis is also unbelievably fit. But then you see that once you move to one event, it makes a lot of changes. You've seen Dechapol was playing men's and mixed doubles for a very long time, but suddenly in the past 6 to 8 months he shifted to mixed doubles, and you see now his focus is just on one event. He's playing one match a day, and he went on to win 3 titles back to back, which is unreal. in a bio bubble.
Yeah.
I feel if Satvik, first of all, we do not have the depth. That's a different thing. We are not
Yeah.
blessed with the bench strength of Indonesia. We are not we are not blessed with the bench strength of Korea or Malaysia, where we have separate mixed doubles contingent, right? So I do feel Satvik will have to continue playing mixed doubles just because of the fact that we need to start winning matches at Sudirman Cup as well, right? Till Ishan Bhatnakars and the Sai Pratik Krishna Prasads, they start getting better.
Yeah.
But yeah, he needs to get a little more fitter. I feel he needs to. Otherwise, it's going to be an issue. I mean, skill-wise, we know he's there. There's absolutely no point. I think he's the best out of all four. He's probably the best skill-wise. But he'll have to get probably a little more fitter because this is going to continue. It is not. I would like him to play one event, but there is no way with the way he's played mixed doubles that he's going to sacrifice mixed doubles as well. And
But
with yeah,
I was speaking to Jobun Park once during one of the India Open, and like his logic of explaining this was, he said today even men's doubles and mixed doubles are technically and tactically so different that there is a mental adjustment, not just fitness. There's a crazy mental adjustment that goes into playing mixed doubles and a women's doubles or a men's doubles, and that is why men find it more difficult because it is more demanding, because a woman normally is not that demanding in a mixed double setup.
true.
That also is a big challenge for Satvik.
Yeah. But I also feel that Sikki and Ashwini's women doubles career hasn't gone to their plans. So both of them are also banking a lot on their mixed doubles, which puts Satvik in a bit of a position, right? So right now, what I see is that Ashwini's preferred event is the mixed doubles, right? And Sikki's preferred event is the mixed doubles, but Satvik's in terms of pure results, preferred event is men doubles. But then he produces results like the World Championship quarterfinals every now and then. He comes up and plays the semi-final here. He stretches Dechapol to 3 games, and then you start to wonder, like, he can actually go on to win a Super Series there also. But then he will come up with a performance against that Hong Kong China pair where he would lose to Tak Ching Chang. So the consistency is not there yet, but he enjoys playing mixed doubles. That is why he's still playing. If he wouldn't have enjoyed it, he would have probably stopped a very long time. So the only way I see is that he needs to get a little more fitter. Otherwise, and we know Satvik has had problem with injuries in the past season. He needs to get at least 15% fitter. Yeah, because Zhangnan has done it, but he was Zhangnan, right? He's had that
Yeah,
kind of fitness, and I've seen the kind of work Marcus Ellis and Yuta Watanabe put. That is the kind of work ethic they put, and they are they're physically that good. And even CO tends to struggle, right? When CO plays his mixed doubles, he tends to struggle. One event goes for a toss, so in this leg of tournaments, his men doubles actually suffered. And you also see that kind of pattern with Satvik sometimes. One of his events do suffer, and I hope that he gets fitter. That is the only way. I don't see him, the management dropping him from mixed doubles anytime soon. Only thing I don't want is Chirag moving into mixed doubles, because that would become a bigger issue.
You spoke briefly about Arjun and Dhruv, who were like quite impressive. They've played together for they've been partners for over a year, but obviously 2020 was almost a write-off. Um, what are your impressions of them, and did you expect them, to do so well early on in their partnership?
So we've been having a lot of expectations for Dhruv for a very long time now. We saw with the way he played in the PBL as well. There's a certain swagger which he goes. So in my podcast, I called him the Washington Sundar of badminton. He's got that swagger. He plays with a lot of swagger. So my analysis so far is that every combination, the first year is the honeymoon period. Nobody really knows you, right? Nobody, you come straight out of the box. Nobody knows Dhruv Kapila right now. They know Arjun. So here's this kid playing fearless badminton. He's ranked 90th in the world. He doesn't have to defend any points. It's just adding. The real battle starts from the second year, where you start defending points, where people start analyzing you, where you've got expectations to win. Nobody expected them to go and win against Ong and Teo, right? But they played with that fearless attitude. But if you look at that match against Abhinav Manota and Oliver Ladon Davis, where they had they saved 2 game points. You saw them, getting under pressure just because they were supposed to win that.
yeah,
So I feel whatever they do now is going to be good. because it's a new combination. They are going to be fearless. The real battle for them will only start once they move into the second season, where players start taking notice them, saying that, okay, boss, so both of them lack power, right? And that's a big issue. So the other day I was also talking to Dhruv and Arjun, saying that, boss, one of you has to become physically so much better, and quite naturally it has to be Dhruv, because he's a little bit taller, he's also younger, so he can develop a lot more strength. So he needs to improve his smash by at least 25%, because otherwise the problem which I and Arjun also faced for the longest of time, that for us to get a point it would take 30 strokes, but for our opponents it would take 15-16 strokes. So eventually when we would move into the closer points, where during the ending point we would be more tired and we would be desperate to finish off rallies. Why do you think Chirag Satvik works so well? Because he's got that big smash, and it's a psychological thing with their opponent. They just don't want to lift the shuttle, and that is when Chirag intercepts so well. It was similar with Jwala Ashwini also. Ashwini was so good from behind, and Jwala would intercept everything. So either you become defensively very good like the Koreans, either you become an expert in the no lob like the Indonesians, or you start having a very good attack and you start playing better tactically. That is the only way. You cannot be average in all departments. Then you are going to be stuck between the world number 40s and 50s for a very long time. You will have the occasional very good season when you will make the top 30s and probably the 20s, but you are not going to make the semifinals of the Super Series events. I hope Dhruv and Arjun go through what they've done. It was a big learning experience for them, right? They had the highs of Ong Yusin and Teo, but they had the lows of Ben Lane and Sean Mendy. Yeah, power is a big issue with men doubles, and I hope that Dhruv puts on some muscles here so that he starts hitting a little more harder, which he can. He's got a good smash. He's got a good contact. He's got a very wiry physique like Chirag, and Chirag often goes under the radar with Satvik Saj, but Chirag also hits pretty hard. So if Dhruv could get a smash like Chirag, it would make a lot of difference for them moving ahead.
Yeah, I think we can keep talking about doubles for another day, but considering time, now come to the basic questions, which I think everybody wants to know. How many Indians will qualify? We have one qualification, but how many doubles guys look at will qualify for the Olympics if it happens?
In the paired events, unless there is like a
Yeah.
huge change, I just see Chirag Satvik qualifying as of now. I think I love the fact that if they prove me wrong, if Sikki Ashwini prove me wrong, and Satvik and Ashwini also prove me wrong, but realistically, I think it's only Chirag Satvik who probably will go as one of the favorites from the Indian contingent to possibly get a medal. I with the way they are playing, I feel they are the best Indians right now on tour. With the way they're playing, they're probably playing better than Sindhu. It's a different event, but if you just look at event wise, right now, if any of us would have to put their money on, it would probably be Sindhu, because just the fact that big event player, or you would put at Chirag Satvik because they're consistently playing quarter semis. And so right now it just looks like one pair. Obviously, Arjun and Dhruv are not even in consideration. Manu Sumit are also not in contention. Sikki Ashwini are also kind of not into contention right now. But yeah, I see as of now things I think Chirag Satvik is the only hope of qualifying.
No, in any paired event to get two is very difficult anyway for India in one same event.
Yeah,
But it
top
would
8. You
just
have
be
to be in
a
the top 8.
slight climb down from 2012-16, where we have at least managed to get a representation in a couple of events.
Yeah.
Like at least two events in 2012, 2016. To just
Yeah.
be one event would be that way not a great Olympics for the paired events.
Exactly. So Manu
But
Sumit did it right in
before we
2016.
close,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
yeah. So before we close, I think let's talk about the five players who we think from juniors can be the doubles future for Indian badminton.
You're looking at men's and mixed doubles both, and men's and women's both. Men's and women's
I
both.
think not mixed doubles. Let's not get into, because we still men's doubles. Just men
Yeah.
players and women players who are
Yep.
capable of taking the mantle of doubles. Ashwini is getting old now. Ashwini is
Yep.
also past 30, so
Yep.
we do need a pair.
Although Ashwini
I,
did,
I,
he wants to play the Paris Olympics.
I mean, if she continues to play only mixed doubles, maybe there is a chance.
Yes, then there
Yeah,
is a
because
chance.
with sports science evolving so much, I do think that maybe she can. But okay, let's start off with men doubles. I think Ishan Bhatnagar has to be right up there. Ishan Bhatnagar, again, you groom him into a mixed doubles player or you groom him into a
Or
men
else,
doubles player. He's got that
yeah,
knack of playing both, but at some point of time, you need to go into deeper specialization. Right now, the specialization is doubles
yeah,
and singles. Then the next step is doubles or mixed. So you decide. So the federation and the setup decides with Ishan Bhatnagar, but I do feel he's a must. You need to prioritize him. He's done well. Um, I've got some hopes on there's this one kid from Kerala called Shankar Kumar Uday Kumar. Shankar Prasad Uday Kumar. Yeah, I think he's got a good knack of finding the gaps, and he plays a very smart style of play. He's not good. He's not the finished article for a very long time now. Um, Krishna Prasad has been in the circuit for a very long time now. Obviously, not the progress we've kind of expected from him, but he's there. He's somewhere in the picture. Vishnuvardhan Gaud is there, another decent prospect. So these are the four men doubles player who I think can make a certain difference. Sai Pratik Krishna Prasad is again a very good mixed doubles player. Again, can be groomed into a good potential men doubles player or mixed doubles players. But also you need to start scouting a little bit more. So this is you. So you've got about 8-10 players in that same in that league, right? And we are waiting for somebody to just burst out from there.
yeah,
To like whenever he plays in All India, they are going and winning. So
yeah,
if you look at the past 3 years, you had repetitive winners in the men doubles. It's either been Arun Jot, Sayam Shukla, it's either been Arjun or myself, or it's either been Krishna or Dhruv. Only three pairs
yeah,
have won most of the domestic tournaments. So you need somebody from the juniors to like pick it up and start winning. In women doubles, Rutuparna Panda, again, I don't know what's happening with her injury issues. She's not found a permanent partner. I hope that happens. So Rutuparna Panda still, I think, is now she's not a youngster anymore. Like I think she's a seasoned player anymore, and we need to start treating her as a seasoned player, and need to start, thinking of maybe she can take the mantle forward. Tanisha Crasto, I understand the hype which comes. Again, one of those players like Ishan and Sai Pratik who can play two events really well. I feel Ishan and Tanisha are a fantastic mixed doubles combination. I think they should stick with them. I think they have a long way. I do hope that, and they've proved, and I think they won at senior domestic tournament also last year, I think in Bareilly. And it's been a while since an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old has actually won a mixed doubles. So Tanisha Crasher is right there. Simran Ritika again there have fallen off the boil for a bit. Again, lot of promise, but again, no, have not been called to the national setup and have not trained together. But I would still consider them to be somewhere there. Yeah. So apart from that, Teresa Jolly is right up there. Varshini is there. So this is a lot of players. Shikha and Ashwini, Shikha Gautam and Ashwini Bhatt, the current national champions. Again, Ashwini Bhatt physically isn't right up there. And you've seen women doubles, right? You've seen
yeah,
the quality of women doubles. Even a 21-14 goes for about 48-50 minutes. And if you're not good physically, there is no way you're going to even go and play a good Grand Prix level match or a Super 100 level match. So even though they are national champions, there's a long way. Shika is still okay. Shika is good physically, but Ashwini Bhatt, not Ponappa, Ashwini Bhatt needs to, be as fit as her namesake Ashwini Ponappa. If she wants to, start, getting results at the international level, which they haven't got so far. They've done well
yeah,
domestically, but even if you look at their challenger tournaments and series tournaments, they haven't done really well. So yeah, again, similar position like men doubles, a lot of players in that same hub. I've heard Gayatri Gopichand has also moved into women doubles. I am not too sure about that. But again, all of them in that same bubble. Somebody needs to go and, come out of that and, go be head and shoulders above the rest. So we know that, okay, boss, this is the pair to look after. Like we know Lakshya Sen, Kiran George,
yeah.
Mithun Manjunath, Siddharth Pratap. These are the standout men singles players in the years to come. We do not have a standout in men doubles and women doubles, right? So yeah, again, yeah,
Even Satvik Chirag were not standout.
they're not
Suddenly,
standout, right?
Tan Kimar decided to pair them together and they became a pair.
Yeah, and but the fact that Arjun and Chirag were fancied, right? They were the first players to win their under 17 ABC. they've done well from the junior events, and obviously Kim Tan Her has played a huge part in that. And you need somebody like that in women doubles and mixed doubles to groom somebody and make it like a project passionately. I remember how passionate Kim Tan Her was towards Chirag and Satvik, and you need the same kind of passion if you want to get women doubles. And to start off with, please include women doubles in Premier Badminton League. Only then it is going to help. Please, it is just so sad sometimes that I don't see women doubles at Premier Badminton League. So yeah, that's a good way to start.
I noticed, like, when you were mentioning the men's doubles players, you did mention Manjeet and Dinku. Any particular reason?
They've also fallen off the radar for a bit, right? I mean, again, very promising. But if you look at the results, I mean, I've trained with them, I know, but they've fallen off the radar, and they've not gone to the heights we've expected. So again, I told you, they are part of that 8 to 10 player pool who is just waiting to like get out. And in the past season, Ishan Bhatnagar has moved ahead of them in the pecking order. Vishnuvardhan Gaud has moved ahead in the pecking order. Sai Pratik Krishna Prasad has moved up in the pecking order, and they've just been waiting. Somebody like Girish and Shankar Prasad, Uday Kumar, they've all moved up the radar, and there's something wrong. And the results, I would love Dinku Manji to do well just because of the fact that physically they are that good. But again, somebody needs to sit down with them and tell that, just physically being good is not going to help you out. You need to start thinking about the game a little bit more. So again, lot of promise in the men doubles segment, women doubles segment. You just need somebody to get them together and give him a year, give him 18 months. And because there is enough talent there. I'm telling you, it's not that there's a lack of talent. It is just that it needs to be under a system, and it needs to be, and players start, and they don't need to go on their own money. They are the future of this country. They need to go out. You say that, boss, तुम जाओ खेलो, पैसे हम देखते 8 टूर्नामेंट जाके खेल के आओ, बट हाँ, ये तुम्हारा टारगेट है. You only pressure you are having on yourself is not the financial part, but it is the way you play on court part. Yeah, so I hope.
I don't know. When we speak about players, no, I've been covering this game for 20 years, and every 2-3 years there is a bunch of players who say are great, exceptional. But very frankly, there is a big difference between being consistent at the domestic level and making that transition to the international level. And that is the biggest challenge which we face, because by the time we get exposure and the maturity to come, what I have seen over the years is you got a Saina, you got a Sindhu, you got all these because when Gopi took over, the juniors got a lot more exposure. Then what happened is you had a senior bunch which has been playing for the last 10-11 years, and your next generation has not got that exposure to mature quicker. And by the time you are 22, 23 and you're still looking to mature, you have lost the battle. And that is where we are losing in doubles. Probably Chirag, Satvik were lucky where Tankemer said, for 1 year, we will keep sending you to the team. Though you are the third best pair, you will still be part of every team. And we will invest 1.5 years in you. Plus, they were young. They were not carrying the baggage of what you say, failing at the international level for a couple of years. And that is the real challenge. We need to groom youngsters faster. Like he spoke about Rituparna Panda, 1 year, within a year, she made it to the Asian Games. Unlucky that every partner she starts playing well with, the partner gets injured. Yeah. But Rituparna Panda physically is also there. In terms of what you say, mental strength, she's there, but she doesn't have a consistent partner.
Yeah.
I would just like to end with just one statement. When was the last time an Indian contingent sent for a challenger or an international series? Yes. That is going to be my final statement. And if somebody finds an answer for that, we can continue to have this chat. And otherwise, why not? That is going to be my final question. Why aren't the when was the last time? Forget 18-19. When was the last time there was a team? I remember I was part of that team, and it was Sri Lanka International Challenge in 2014. That was the last time it was a challenger team was sent. In the past 6 years, there hasn't been a single team gone for any challenges. And how are the juniors going to improve if there is absolutely all the money is going towards Super 100, 300, 500, 750, and 1000? That is all what I would say. That we need to start investing money also to the younger lot. Otherwise, you're not going to get results. Otherwise, there's going to be a big gap, which we are already seeing. This is a big gap which is already formed. If you want the gap to get smaller now, you start investing. If you don't, the gap will eventually become so big that India will go back to the 70s and 80s. Yeah, like how it was considered then.
Thanks, Shlok, for that great conclusion to our.
Thanks, Lok.
Thanks so
My
much
pleasure,
for
my
joining
pleasure.
us. Um,
Yes.
and so that was the first episode of Net Picking. Thanks for joining us, everyone, and we'll be back very soon. Cheers.